At 8 p.m. tonight, this place is going to be absolutely rocking as Arsenal take on Real Madrid in the Champions League quarter-finals. Join me for a lap of the stadium to preview the fixture and find out why Jakub Kiwior is going to go down in Arsenal folklore. So I'm actually going to take you away from the stadium to go visit a little statue just outside here at the Emirates. Now, bizarrely, I was actually going to go over to the Thierry Henry statue to talk about 05-06 and what happened last time, but it actually happens that Thierry Henry is there right now.
I know.
The last time Real Madrid came to the Emirates Stadium, of course, this guy, Thierry Henry, in 05-06, was in his absolute pomp. In those two legs, also in a quarter-final, it was 0-0 at the Emirates, followed by a 1-0 away win, mastered through Thierry Henry's amazing finish at the Bernabeu, 1-0. That year, we got to the final of the Champions League, and the big question is, can we do it again? Right, let's do a lap of the stadium, and this time, let's hope we don't bump into Thierry Henry. I will be inside here at 8 p.m. and this place will be absolutely riotous. There is going to be noise heard in the whole borough of Islington and even different parts of London. The fans have already been promised that there will be some kind of event pre-show. I imagine it will be similar to the bin bags we got given in red and yellow against Atletico Madrid a couple of seasons ago. But whatever happens inside, the thing that's interesting today is I think the Arsenal fans believe we're going to win this tie. Traditionally, Champions League quarter-finals have not been a happy hunting ground for Arsenal. In fact, if it was Barcelona or Bayern Munich in the draw, we'd probably predict that a loss was about to occur. However, this is Real Madrid. We only seem to beat them. As I take a lap of this stadium, it's one of those awkward moments that my godson is on an Arsenal football camp holiday and has just met Thierry Henry. So, if you're watching this, have fun. Let's be honest with ourselves. First things first, Arsenal are not going to be winning the Premier League this season. Kudos to Liverpool, I think they're too many points ahead. So this Champions League tie represents the only possible silverware for this club. And let's be fair, even going very deep into this competition would be huge for Arsenal in this transitionary position of getting back to those trophies and getting back to being in those finals. Plenty of lesser clubs, Chelsea, Man City, remember them? We'll tell you that if you don't win a European Cup, then you don't count as a big team. Well, to them I'd say, you would say that, wouldn't you? From tin pot to something. But this could be the year that we do get our trophy. Arsenal are working their way back to full strength. Bukayo Saka is back, and the elation that was felt in the stands when he came on as a sub in that first game back was almost as though you'd seen your best player score a hat-trick. We also know that Jurrien Timber, Martinelli and Ødegaard were all rested in the last game, actually Partey as well, so we should have a fresh squad. The only concerns for us, of course, right in the heart of that defence, losing Gabriel is huge. It leaves a big hole in that central partnership with Saliba. But let me take you back to that tie in 05-06. Yes, Arsenal were doing unbeaten seasons and looking incredibly dangerous with an attack that included the likes of Thierry Henry. But at the defence, in that quarter-final against Real, we had a really shaky back four. If you don't remember it, at left-back, we had Mathieu Flamini, a defence midfielder, filling in down that left wing. On the right, we had the man that I'm convinced is still within Gunnosaurus today, Emmanuel Eboué. And in the centres, we had Kolo Touré, an absolute rock, and a slightly lesser fancied left centre-back called Philippe Senderos. Fast forward 19 years, and could this be the time that Jakub Kiwior, full Poland international, and about 50 games for Arsenal, can step up and make his way into Arsenal folklore? Against Everton, he looks absolutely sound. If there hadn't been that weird penalty given against Miles Lewis-Skelly, wasn't a penalty, then you'd see a clean sheet for Arsenal. And I think the confidence in our defence would have been that little bit higher. Kiwior had a way of just marshalling that defence nicely with Saliba. And actually with his left peg, some of his forward balls were pretty exciting. But other than Kiwior having to fill in for Gabriel, and potentially Calafiori being out, I think Arsenal will be back at full strength. The key thing for me is what happens on that right-hand side. Is it Jurrien Timber, who's been playing brilliantly over the last however many months? Or is it the overlapping runs of Ben White, which will get a start at right-back? It's never good to mix and match who plays when, but Arsenal finally have options in the positions they need. Equally, going forward, this is a dramatic change to the last knockout round against PSV. Nearly said Paris Saint-Germain, we'll save that for the semis. Against PSV, of course, he won 7-1 in Eindhoven, meaning that we could kind of rest some players and rotate a little bit for the home leg. But at home, let me remind you of that attack. On one side, we had Sterling. On the other side, left attacking midfielder, my favourite player, Kieran Tierney. And then, of course, down the middle, Mikel Merino. Fast forward a month, and it looks very, very different in terms of who we could play in that starting 11. As mentioned, Bukayo Saka, he's back, and I cannot wait. He's not just a fantastic player and a goal threat, he's also the right personality to have in your team, potential to be captain. It's just a very decent egg. On the left-hand side, a player that I think we miss more than a lot of people give him credit for, Gabriel Martinelli, is back and firing. And the reason we've missed him so much, he nearly always manages to get a corner out of his attacks. It's phenomenal how our corners and corners given dramatically decreased when he went out the side. We might have to rely on those corners to get our goal tonight, who knows? And then finally, who plays through the middle? We have the option of Trossard, we have the option of Mikel Merino, we even have the option of Ethan Ranieri. It's almost hard to understand that this could be a game where you rest Trossard and Ranieri. We haven't had that much depth for months since Havertz went out. As for Real Madrid, they're actually missing quite a few players, not their biggest stars, but in that defence they're going to look a little ragged. And in that defensive midfielder position, Tchouameni isn't available, meaning Camavinga is going to have to pick up a lot of the slack in that midfield for the pressing part of the Real Madrid game. If Gabriel had been fit, I think the strategy would have been Arsenal keep a clean sheet and hope to go to the Bernabeu needing to get either a draw or a win, maybe sneaking through, similar to how we did in 05-06. But with him injured, there is a chance we concede a little bit heavier. Turns out Kylian Mbappe, potentially against Kivior, might be a mismatch. But can Arsenal get those goals? Yeah, I reckon we can. I think our pressing play is superb. I think we'll pass straight through their midfield. It's whether we can keep them quiet on counter-attacks and somehow control what is a phenomenal attack for Real Madrid. But for the 15 times European champions, they don't really look as invincible as they used to. Cast your mind back to, I think, game week 5 of the group stage. There was a chance that Real Madrid, along with the likes of Man City and the others, weren't actually going to go through. In fact, Real Madrid was something of a late bloomer getting into this knockout round. Now, it would be foolish of me to say that Arsenal are winning both legs or that this is going to be an easy tie, because quite frankly it isn't. It most certainly is the tie of the round, and it could be one of the biggest games we've seen at the Emirates in recent history, certainly for the last 20 years. But Arteta will be ready. I said previously there was a benefit of how the draws are made in this competition. Managers who like to go head-to-head with other managers and really scout them out have a much bigger advantage. When the knockout rounds were called, you knew in advance your route to the final, so I already know that it will be the winner of Arsenal-Real Madrid taking on the winner of Paris Saint-Germain and Aston Villa, and likely playing Bayern Munich or Barcelona in the final. I guess the other side of the draw, we'll leave that be for now. Arteta will have been looking at this fixture for a long time and working out exactly how to get around Real Madrid, how to play higher possession football against them, which they don't tend to do very well with, and how to make sure we can get those opportunities to overlap our fullbacks, get the ball in the box, and get the likes of Merino, does he start, to score some goals. My prediction for tonight, I do like to give a score prediction, take it with a pinch of salt, but I can't see anything other than an Arsenal win here. It really feels like the energy tonight is going to be huge. The fans are ready. I've just seen Thierry Henry by his statue. I'm going with Arsenal 2, Real Madrid 0. A clean sheet home victory. Let's take it to the Bernabeu. If you are watching for the first time and you like what you've seen, please do leave a comment down below on what you think the score will be tonight. And if you want Arsenal to do well, manifest it by clicking like and subscribe. And for wherever you are watching the football today, be good humans, do good things. Peace.